By the end of the 50s, the post-war boom of private car ownership had fully transformed the traditional public spaces of European city centres. Streets were lined by endless rows of parked cars, and squares had become open city parking lots. Being particularly affected by the situation, France pioneered a solution in order to both accommodate the new vehicles and preserve its historic pre-car urbanism. It built underground parking lots to store the cars where there was space, below the public space. Vendôme, Concorde, Opera, Louvre, Invalides. From the late 60s onwards, dozens of underground car parks were built this way in Paris and in many European cities which faced similar issues. This thickening of public squares and avenues had covertly reinvented the typical street section in the process. It became as deep as it was high. Today in Paris alone, deep street public car parks represent over 2 million square meters of usable floor surfaces, mostly operated by Indigo Group and owned by the city of Paris. However, the evolution of mobility practices and the push towards renewable energies are inviting for the revision of what underground car parks have been. The demands of dense city centres, in fact, ask for the valorisation and the diversification of the metropolitan underground beyond mobility to include logistics, energy, and even industries. What is the underground car park of the future? How can it respond to contemporary urban dynamics? The design of future underground parkings follow 4 guiding design principles: a premium street level for pedestrians and active circulation, a flexible lower street level as an interface between street and services, multiple activity levels offering floor space for a variety of programs, a bottom level that uses the soil's resources in terms of water and energy. The application of these design principles takes different forms according to the context, whether the parks are reconversions, under squares, under avenues, or below blocks. 4 scenarios can be defined: the parking retrofit, the deep square, the deep avenue, and the deep ground. Existing underground car parks can be transformed into high-quality spaces through the selective slab openings bringing light and air into the ground. The lower street becomes an extension of the street, while the vehicles are parked in the deeper floors. The car park thus becomes a centralised mobility hub for users and businesses by providing light mobilities, car storage, charging stations, maintenance areas, last-mile logistics. The resources of the ground are systemically used to supply users and nearby buildings with local, sustainable solutions.
In certain cases, the former car parks can be converted into cultural venues.
The deep square is a new typology of public space for metropolitan and regional cities. A multi-function hall can top the square to extend the programmatic potential. With a permanent market, the public ground is freed and optimised thanks to the services being integrated underground. The ground's water can be used to create public fountains. Customer parking in business delivery bays can be located below in the lower levels. A convenient location for public underground parkings is below circulation axes. The infrastructure can be unrolled below the streets and avenues and connected to the buildings along the sides. The avenue becomes a double-decker with upper circulation level and a low service level, with a variety of activities such as valet services, delivery bays and dark kitchens alternate with the regular access lamps and sunken gardens bringing light and air from the outside. The vehicles will eventually park themselves automatically in the lower floors and contribute to the decentralised energy city grid, while non-human industries such as data farms and hydroponic cultivation can occupy the lowest levels. In the case of city blocks, these design principles create a thick common ground level onto which buildings and stations are plugged. The distinction between the overground and the underground is dissolved while the real estate enjoys direct access to mobility services as well as to retail and transportation. The city block is plugged into the ground for best energy and water management, effectively improving the overall quality of the city. Mobility, utilities, industries, retail, culture, logistics, energy. The opportunities of the underground are many and largely underutilised.
The underground car park of the future will be essential to the development of the city of tomorrow.